Hi there, it's Taste of Lizzie T here today. I am Julie, this is my daughter Kinsley. Today we are going to be making one of our most popular recipes, corn casserole. This is an easy 5-ingredient recipe. So we're gonna put in first 1 stick of butter, half of a cup, or 1 stick. I use salted butter because that's what I keep in the refrigerator. If you have unsalted, that would be fine too. We are going to put in 1 can of sweet corn. Can you drain off the liquids of that? And while she's draining the liquids, I will put in 1 can of cream corn. So it calls for 2 cans of corn, 1 cream corn, 1 regular corn that you will drain the liquid off of. And then we're gonna put in 1 box of Jiffy corn muffin mix. This is gonna give the casserole almost a cornbread-like texture. You don't need to put in the other ingredients that are on the back of this box, just the cornbread mix itself. And then I will measure out 1 cup of sour cream. If you'd like to lighten up the dish a little bit, you could use light or a lower fat sour cream. I like using full fat sour cream because it makes it taste the best. Some people have actually put in a Greek yogurt also, which sometimes can be subbed out for sour cream. It definitely changes up the flavor a little bit of the casserole, makes it a little bit tangy, but if you're used to doing that, it will work. And then you mix that all together. But be sure that the butter is very soft or even slightly melted, because then it will be easier to mix in. Now while she's mixing that all up, I'm gonna tell you about some of the other things you can add in. Cheese is always good to add to a casserole, so if you want to, you can add half of a cup, 3/4 of a cup, however much cheese you really would like into the casserole at this point. You can even sprinkle some on top while it bakes. You can add eggs. So some people add in 2 eggs to this, and it will make it more of a fluffy souffle-like texture. So there's that option. You can also add in sugar. So we often make this with some friends, and one time my friend brought corn casserole, and it was like the best corn casserole ever. And we sat there, do you remember that? When she brought corn casserole and it was the best. We just couldn't stop eating it. And we said, what did you do to this corn casserole? It's amazing. Well, she had added sugar. So it almost made it like a corn cake, almost dessert-like. And it was spectacular. I don't usually add the sugar to it, but you can definitely do that. And hey, if you add both of these, maybe it's like cake at that point. So Kinsley has mixed this all up. This recipe, as we just made today, bakes in an 8x8 baking pan. We're spraying that so that it doesn't stick. You can also double this recipe and bake it in a 9x13 baking pan. It will take a little bit longer to bake that way, but you can double it if you're fixing it for a holiday dinner or just if you need to feed more people, a potluck. And then you can also make this in a slow cooker. So I have a smaller 4-quart slow cooker, and I'll show you what that looks like in a minute, cooking it in there. But you just add the corn casserole batter to the slow cooker, set it on low, and cook it for about 4 hours. And it will get golden brown around the sides and cooked through. And that's a way that if you're making this as a side dish with other things that need to go into the oven, that frees up your oven space for other things, and you can cook your corn casserole in there. So we have the oven preheated to 350 degrees, and this size of a pan is gonna take about 35 minutes to bake. So we will put it in. So we just got the corn casserole out of the oven. As you can see, it is a beautiful golden brown. Kinsley loves this dish, don't you? You could probably just eat this by itself. I love how the casserole is creamy on the inside, gets golden brown on the outside. You can also make it in your slow cooker. It takes about 4 hours on low. And that also gets golden brown around the edges and cooked through to deliciousness. And that is a very easy side dish. 5-minute prep, 35 minutes in the oven. Great side dish for a potluck or for a holiday dinner.